Easy now, if you keep moving, I can't mend the wound properly. Do you want to end up looking like the business end of a Narwhal's ass? Stop writhing about. Rest. Where are you? Where you are is safe. That's all that should matter, no? Most curious near corpse I've ever saved. We're somewhere near Theramis Hold. Now, judging by the foliage in this area, I'd say the Marwort Forest. You're not so lucky yet. The war still rages on. Who am I? I'm Aedriel Harrenstone, inquisitor errant. You are correct, leading an expedition deeper into Ballastand from the western coast. We made landfall in Sultan Bay not more than a few months ago. I take it that the rest of your company has met a fate similar to those I found you with, otherwise you would have received our messenger by now. We're afraid that the rest of your brothers and sisters in arms were beyond help. Do not worry or weep for them. They sacrificed themselves in service to the cause. Don't fault me alone for the ravages of war, nor the presence of death. Our armada was severely hindered by a storm, Fey waterwakers. It is the foes in the dark you should hate. You are right to be angry, but not with me. Apology accepted. In times such as these, resolve may crack, but do not let it break. You are a soldier in a war against the damned. Be strong. Good. There you are. Pieced together for the time being. Try not to move around too much, or I assure you that even with my powers, I will not be able to carry you back to our main encampment. Farther than I can carry you, that's where. If you can't move in the morning, then I'm afraid that I will need to leave you with rations to last a few days until we can send aid to bring you somewhere safe. I'm alone, yes. My guard was killed on the way here during our forward reconnaissance of the woods to plot a route for the main company to follow. No, there are more of us, many more. Reinforcements from the homeland. Grenflurians sends more every month. There are only so many bodies the kingdom can withdraw from the efforts in Jakal and the Nordlands to aid us here in the southeast. Take comfort in knowing that though the flow of aid may falter, it will never stop so long as Grenflurian blood flows through the veins of even a single one of our number. Believe in Farron, in Magellan, in Serenis, whichever the gods that you serve, or none at all. But believe that Grenflur will fight until the last man, until the demons are swept from Circa Eternum. And what of my kind? What are you implying? Because I am born of both human and fey blood. Though I may be an unholy abomination, I know the way of things and I serve the cause. That is why I continue on, unfaltering in my purpose to serve Grenflur's vision. Hypocrisy or not, my path has already been laid. The roads paved and the banners held high before my arrival. I know what must be done, even if I don't fully believe in it myself. Rumors, yes, but rumors that are true. My father, Inquisitor Harrenhal, a Grenflurian commander of the 75th Heavy Infantry, currently battling at Holdfast's gates in a bitter attempt at keeping the orcs of the north from flooding into the southern basin. The war. It was a bloody one. Still is. Bloodier than here. Far more brutal as well. At least soldiers can move and breathe here in Ballastand. There on the precipice of the north, there is only harsh weather, fierce cold, and unrelenting war. If the orcs aren't out to get you, then the wild wolves are. No, not of the canine variety. The wild wolves. Cultists, attempting to resurrect an old god through sacrificing themselves through combat in his name. Fools, a lot of them. No, there's no chance. So long as the Inquisitor lives, then so too does Holdfast. My mother, Saria Warstone. I'd imagine that she's somewhere here in Ballastand still, cursing my father, cursing her choice to let him take me to the capital to learn to fight, to be raised as a noble to House Harrenhal, and of course cursing me and my life. I find it unfortunate that our family fights on different sides, but that doesn't matter. Paths diverge, and when they come again, sometimes they meet and clash. This just so happens to be one of those times. Now, she's more than just some fae. She's my mother, a fierce war master, even by my father's accounts, and recollections when the Grenflurians and the fae were still fighting to the bitter end against the demonic hordes and the undead that plagued Ballastand during the final days of the Duergar. Yes, many of the great houses and castles you see on the maps now were just gateways to the great stoned cities of the Beneath, made by the Duergar and reclaimed by new factions that came and went with the tides. The Duergar, there's always so many generations of conflict that you can survive before numbers dwindle, wells run dry, and spirit gives in to the fatigue of combat. Most of the great stone cities have fallen into ruin or into the hands of new lords. Survivors, there are a few. Most seem to have made their way east to Baron Karl's peaks, or northward to the Oakenfjord mountain range. No, their fight will never be over. The Duergar of Ballastand have long toiled in these lands, witnessed more war than all of Terran has probably ever seen. I know not if they will return, but I do know that there will come the day when Ballastand is free from the darkness. Yes? Well, what is it that you'd like to know? Seeing as we'll be spending the night here so as not to be skewered by the fae on the road, I'll humor you. Things happened, and now things are the way that they are. Satisfied? Fine. I prefer not to eliminate the fae. We have our differences, and those differences are vast. But we shed blood together on the same ground against the same enemy. We shared common goals and found similarities buried beneath our stark differences. Why? Why must we fight each other now? Over land? Old feuds? It's preposterous, unsightly, unclean, and fucking unnecessary. Where did our promises and allegiances wander off to? Our sense of camaraderie? I know what I say is heresy. It goes against everything I as an inquisitor errant must stand for, must believe in. But I can't help but think that perhaps it is some greater darkness that stirs us to arms. We had a short reprieve, a decade of peace. Not of harmony, but of peace. There was no reason for it to break. During the early days of the Settlers' War, there was. Atrocities beyond imagination were committed by all sides. But now, it just doesn't make sense. Believe me, I would if I could. Perhaps I could try to save both sides. No. This is foolish. To spare the lives of the Fae would be to commit treason of the highest order. I'd be sentenced to a punishment worse than death. Then the Order would send its finest to kill all those that were even suspected of conspiring with me. And what of denouncing my... Are you mad? Listen and listen well. There is no way to save everyone in this war. On one hand, you will either be betrayed by those you trusted or hated by those you provided aid. On the other, you will be treated as a coward and cast away to the farthest reaches of Circa Eternum. or you will be viewed as a traitor to the Grenflurian cause, a heretic, and you will be executed for your suspected betrayal of the cause. No matter what I do, nor what anyone does, there is no stopping this war. And we must see it through to its fulfillment. There is always hope, room for change, soldier. You are correct. I believe in this, same as you. But sometimes change can be a fatal poison, more deadly than the stagnation of entire empires. I will ponder this insight that you've granted me, but for now, rest. We have a long journey to make in the morrow. I don't need sleep, a side effect of my upbringing. Don't think I could anyways. You've given me a lot to think about. No, it's nothing to be sorry for. Whether you're a chancellor or a sod shoveler, it doesn't matter. A true and good-hearted inquisitor, no, Grenflurian, should listen to the words of any and all and heed them. And I will heed your words well. Now rest. You've not more than a few hours until the perilous journey through these woods back to the encampment.